Quick question. I thought you said there was going to be 22 true or false.
20 true or false,
20
fill in the blank.
of both.
20 of both? Oh, what? Sorry, I heard you wrong. Okay.
Yes, you did. I might have said 22 or false, so you thought it was 22,
Yeah, maybe.
if I spoke like Elmer Fudd. Okay, the 75-point essay question. I can read the first part of it. Suki Sales, a current student at MTI College, was recently charged with cheating on a research paper in the administrative law class. Stated below is a statement from Mr. Sales on his rationale for the purported cheating. Use his testimony to aid you in the task listed below. And the testimony is really answering questions. They ask Mr. Sales, why did you decide to cheat? And he says he never meant to cheat. How did you cheat? He visited websites. Who caught you cheating? Professor DC. How did they catch you cheating? They conducted a plagiarizing search. Were you aware of the rules regarding to cheating? So he gives answers to all that. That's his testimony. Here's what you've been asked to do. Write a rule allowing me some discretion in evaluating and charging a student with cheating. And it says, write a rule allowing me, it should read, Linda Gardenhire. I'm the teacher that caught him cheating, but she's the one that has to be in charge of this. So write a rule allowing some discretion in evaluating and charging a student with cheating. Number 2, develop 2 rules for the hearing. And number 3, render a decision based on Mr. Sales' testimony, the rules that you wrote, and the role of an agency hearing. So the school is acting like an agency to find out whether Mr. Sales is guilty of cheating or not. So the first part says, write a rule allowing some discretion in evaluating and charging a student with cheating. And I think what you should be doing is coming up with defining what cheating is and how you can evaluate whether someone has cheated or not. And maybe that will include plagiarizing, I don't know. And then number 2 says, develop 2 rules for the hearing. Assuming Mr. Sales demands a hearing before he's found guilty of cheating, we need 2 rules for the hearing. Well, they would be like rules we'd find in the APA, like what kind of notice he'll get of the hearing, or what kind of evidence he can present, like is he allowed to present witnesses? Is he allowed to cross-examine the witnesses against him? So you only need 2 rules. If the question says 2 rules, don't write 3 or 4. 2 rules that I would call procedural rules for the hearing. And then part 3 is render a decision based on Mr. Sales' testimony and the rules that you wrote and the role of an agency hearing. And here you're going to be answering 2 things. Is he guilty of cheating based on the testimony? And if he is, what do we do with him? He had a lot of options. We could kick him out of school. We could just give him an F for the class, so we'd have to retake the class. We could make him redo the research project over. I guess you could say he didn't cheat. If you read his testimony, I think he's not really guilty. So render a decision means come up with the idea, is he guilty of cheating or not? You have to decide. And if he is, what should we do with him? And you have all the options. He can be put on probation. He can be made to retake the class. Or just rewrite the paper. When you read what he says, you'll decide what you think is fair for him. Do you want me to read what he said real fast? Sure you do. The first question was, why did you decide to cheat? His answer, I did not decide to cheat. It was never my intention to cheat. Obviously, I did not have a complete understanding of plagiarizing or proper citation. Honestly, I thought if the information was on the internet, then I could use it for my research paper. In legal, they borrow information from various sources all the time and do not cite their sources. Why is it an issue at this time? Question 2, how did you cheat? I visited several websites, read the material. I don't want you to think that I merely copied and pasted. determined which information was applicable to my research paper, and copied and pasted it. I did not cite my sources because I thought I only had to cite case law and statutes. Next question. Who caught you cheating? Professor Deasy. Number 4. How did they catch you cheating? Professor Deasy conducted a plagiarizing search and discovered that 45% of my research paper was copied and pasted without citing my sources. Number 5. Were you aware of the rules with regard to cheating? Answer. I was aware of what I deemed cheating, such as copying another student's work, cheat sheets for exam, or paying someone to do my paper. But I was not aware that copying and pasting from the internet was considered plagiarizing. Once I complete this program, I have a job with the FBI. I would never have done anything to jeopardize my chance to work for the Bureau. If the agency finds me guilty of this charge, I not only will fail this class, but the job offer will be rescinded. I just don't think it's fair to punish me for copying and pasting free and accessible material. Internet sources such as Wikipedia change their information all the time, and they don't always cite their sources. That's the whole thing. So, you could write a perfect paper and get 195 points next week. And that's all we'll do. Come on time. I'll bring a blue book for the essay. The other answers get written on the test paper. You have to write the answer in pen. No pencil in the blue books. Don't write on the back of a page. I'll have extra blue books, but you won't need more than one. Anybody have any questions?